Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, baseball is on a 4-game winning streak.
And softball sweeps Maryland over the weekend in stunning fashion. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Ethan Bonner.
And I'm Grace Lesher. Now, Ethan, you know, we're here mid-April. The weather's not too great, but you know it is pretty great right now.
Indiana baseball, 32-4 in their doubleheader, and following their dominant sweep of Michigan State, Indiana baseball took on Ball State in a midweek matchup. Our Garrett Larson has the story.
Lake St. Louis, Missouri, number 38, Jackson Yarberry.
Coming off a sweep of Michigan State last weekend, Indiana hosted the Ball State Cardinals in a midweek matchup this Tuesday. Indiana rode their lefties in the pitching staff today, taking the win 7-5.
It was just really the matchup. They kind of looked less comfortable versus the lefties, and we had several of those guys, prepared for the day.
Darren Swanson carried the load today for Indiana, throwing 4 1/3 innings, just allowing 4 hits, no runs, and only issuing 1 walk.
We're pitching the way that we're supposed to and the way that we are capable of, and I think it's been a big thing for us leaders like us older guys to bring some of these younger guys along and get them under our wing and so that they can go out there and have success.
You said those guys, we were just so committed to being in the strike zone and to attacking. And we've had some, when our innings get big, it's almost always with free bases involved. Our opponent batting average is fine, and so we don't get hit tremendously hard in succession.
After Indiana ran into some trouble in the 9th inning, they turned to Ryan Kraft, who completed the save and closed out the 7-5 win.
He's a competitive guy. We always call him the sheriff, man. He's like John Wayne. He's the law in town. And when you always feel like the game's over when he comes in, and he's awesome. And I hope those guys learn a lot from him because he's a hell of a good player and a hell of a good leader.
Indiana takes their 4-game win streak to Champaign this weekend as they take on the Fighting Illini in a crucial conference matchup. For IUSTV Sports, my name is Garrett Larson.
Indiana looks to continue their 4-game win streak on the road in Champaign, where they take on Illinois.
The Indiana men's tennis team headed to West Lafayette this past weekend to take on in-state rival Purdue. Purdue grabbed momentum early, securing the doubles point via wins at number 1 and 3 doubles. At singles, freshman Braden Galantich put the Hoosiers on the board at number 4 singles. That would be the lone point of the match for the Hoosiers as the Boilermakers won at number 6, 3, and 1 singles to secure the victory. Having dropped 4 out of their last 5 matches, the Hoosiers look to get back in the win column as they head home to take on Oregon on Friday.
The Indiana women's tennis team hosted number 3 in the country, Michigan, at home. The Hoosiers were unable to win any matches against Michigan and fell to the Wolverines 4-0. Things started looking up for the Hoosiers on Sunday, where they hosted Michigan State at home. Indiana took all of its singles and doubles matches, including a dominant performance from Laura Schneider and Nicole Teodusescu with a 6-3 win. Keep up with the Hoosiers as they travel to Minnesota and Wisconsin this weekend.
Indiana wrestling earned its first NCAA Top 25 finish since 2015, highlighted by a Top 10 performance from DJ Washington. Our Kelsey Dennehy has more on just how much it took for the All-American to get there.
DJ Washington has battled injury his entire career with Indiana wrestling. His final collegiate meet, the NCAA Championships, was certainly no exception.
I just remember when I got back to the hotel, I kind of peed and it looked like pink Kool-Aid jammer, and I was like, hey, yo, all right, maybe I should tell our trainer about this. And we ended up talking about it, and we originally just went to the hospital to go get labs done, and that's when they came back like, oh, you have rhabdo or whatever that was. So
Rhabdo, short for rhabdomyolysis, is a condition where damaged muscle tissue releases its contents into the bloodstream. A saline drip is typically the standard treatment, but that wasn't an option for the Portage native.
Straight panic in a coach's perspective. I got that text at 11:30, 11:40 that they were taking him in, and immediately I'm like, oh, he's not going to be able to wrestle.
If you want to feel better, you'll have to get on this bag. If not, I'm okay with you because it's pain, but you could get through it. But she was like, if not, you're just probably not going to sleep tonight. And I was like, I ain't sleeping then.
He didn't sleep and had to win his next 3 straight matches to podium.
After I lost that match, I was like, well, these like last matches, like I'm not gonna think like I could do a little bit more. I'm just gonna do more, you know, and then be satisfied with how I wrestled instead of just feeling like, man, my whole career I could have done more, but I didn't.
Washington didn't just podium. He became Indiana Wrestling's first All-American since 2017.
In the moment, it was, pretty emotional. We've been so close. And we knew, like, all you need is one. You get one guy to break through, then everybody else believes. It's like, oh, if DJ did it, I can do it. I train next to him. So there was a lot of emotion in that match.
It was just nice to finally put all those, like, heartbreaks and all the, like, frustrations into one last tournament and come out on top.
And now, in all that he's learned in his career, Washington looks to pass on all the knowledge he gained as a Division I athlete.
I know I want to do coaching of the sort. I'm trying to coach my little brothers wherever I go.
And that's what I want my guys to preach on if they become coaches or whatever they become. It's like, continue to evolve yourself and be the best version you can be.
Wrestling will look to pick up right where it left off next fall under head coach Angel Escobedo.
Coming up after the break, we crown this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And we'll give you the latest on softball's hot streak. Don't go away yet.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Now joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is our very own Darion Watson. Darion?
Thanks, Grace. This week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week is baseball freshman Caleb Koski. Koski started his collegiate hitting career the best way possible on Monday against Michigan State, recording a grand slam in the first inning to push the lead to 5-0. In the 5th inning, Koski hit a single up the middle, bringing in 2 more runners and moving his RBI total up to 6. Koski and the Hoosiers were able to knock off the Spartans for the 3rd time in just 2 days with an 18-2 victory. A great start for the freshmen and momentum for the Hoosiers before their trip to Champaign. That's all for this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Darion. Softball hit their 5th straight win in a midweek game against Louisville. Our IUSTV sports reporter Grace Jeffer has the story.
Indiana took on Louisville in a Wednesday night game, looking for a win. In the first inning, they struggled on defense and gave up 2 runs to the Cardinals to start the game 0-2. Both teams got out of the second inning scoreless, and Brianna Copeland turned it around at bats with a leadoff home run in the 3rd, which gave her the title all-team home run leader and brought the score 1-2.
Just get something up the middle, and she gave me a pitch down the middle, so I hit it. And I didn't really get to see where it landed. Everybody was telling me that it went really far. I looked at the dugout to see if they'd give you a reaction, and nobody was looking at me. So I never got to see the ball land, but it was good to hit it.
Kinsey Mitchell hit a single to center to bring Taylor Minnick home and tie the game 2-2 and to end the inning. Shortly after, in the top of the 4th, the Cardinals' Madison Pickens hit a home run of her own to give Louisville the lead back 2-3. Indiana scored 2 on an Avery Parker base hit to take the lead 4-3. Still in the 4th, Allie Van Brandt had a base hit to left center to bring Copeland in, and a sac fly from Mitchell brought in Peyton Drummond to end the inning 6-3. Indiana kept the bats going in the bottom of the 5th, with a home run from Alex Cooper to bring in Strader and bring the score to 8-3. The 6th and 7th stayed scoreless to give Indiana the win.
Yeah, we've been telling them every game's a championship game, and it's staying day tight. Day tight, you don't worry about Wisconsin until you get through Louisville, and you're not really even worried about who's in the other dugout. All you're worried about is going up and winning a series on the road.
The Hoosiers continue their win streak as they secure another home win. They will travel to Wisconsin this weekend for a 3-game series. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Grace Jeffer.
Softball is looking to get another Big Ten Series sweep when they take on Wisconsin this weekend.
For our final mention, women's water polo continues their losing streak with an at-home upset from the number 15 San Jose State Spartans after a 4th quarter comeback. Coming off back-to-back losses against number 8 Arizona State and number 5 UC Berkeley, number 10 IU was looking to turn the tides with a win against the Spartans. The Hoosiers took an early first-half lead, outscoring the Spartans 5-3, but it was sophomore Rose Jensen who led the Spartans' charge in the 3rd quarter with back-to-back goals. Indiana tried to respond, but San Jose kept pouring on with 4 more goals in the end of the 4th quarter, ending the game with a final score of 10-8. The Hoosiers will not get a break as they look to face number 2 Stanford in California this Saturday.
Now joining us with this week's Candy Stripe calendar report is Gigi Welp. Gigi?
Thanks, guys. This upcoming weekend, we'll have IU athletics traveling across the country for their respective sports. Starting with our weekend-long events. On Friday, Indiana Track and Field will be away in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the Crimson Tide Invitational. IU softball will spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Wisconsin competing with the Badgers, while IU baseball will be at the University of Illinois Friday through Sunday. Additionally, women's golf will be at Ohio State University Saturday through Sunday for the Buckeye Invitational. Going back to Friday for our day-long events, men's and women's tennis are both playing away, with the men traveling to Oregon and the women traveling to Minnesota. Moving on to Saturday, women's water polo will have an away match in Stanford. Lastly, on Sunday, men's tennis will be in Washington competing with the Huskies, and women's tennis will be in Wisconsin competing with the Badgers. That's all I've got for this week's Candy Stripe calendar. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Gigi. And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Grace Lesher.
And I'm Ethan Bonner. We'll see you next week.